Says it's waiting for guests. I don't want no guests. So there. I don't want any guests. I want my usual people. I want my brother, sisters, friends, even enemies. Listen. I kind of want to talk about that creation mandates more, but there's something else on my mind that they've been talking about in that video. Cross Church, Pensacola. And I may have dealt with this before, but I'm going to do it again because it just, the more I think about it, the more it tells me that most Reformed Christians excuse me, who call themselves Calvinists have no idea what the doctrine of election really means. I can see somebody now saying, morning. I can see somebody now saying, you're crazy as can be. Don't you know that they're good 5-point Calvinists and believe in the doctrine of unconditional election? I'm going to tell you, I'm not so sure people do. Well, how can you say that? You ever hear the term the federal headship of Adam? That Adam was the federal head of his race? Have you heard that? I have. All my religious life, as one who claimed to believe in the doctrines of grace and the sovereignty of God, I have heard about the federal headship of Adam. Mm-mm-mm. And what that means, if I understand it right, and if I'm not, I'm sure one of these deformed ones will correct me. If I understand it right, that means that Adam stood as a representative of all of humanity, and whatever he did was going to be passed down to all of them. Well, that sounds right, doesn't it? No, it doesn't. Listen to me. When I was a kid in school, in American literature class, I can remember the teacher talking about, excuse me, the Bay Psalm book. No, excuse me, not the Bay Psalm book. The New England Primer. The New England Primer. A book to teach children how to read, how to write, all that good stuff. And the A, it had little rhymes for each letter of the alphabet. I still remember the A. In Adam's fall, we sinned all. I'm going to tell you what, now those people knew how it was. Not that Adam was the federal head of his children, but that his children were in him. You see, these people don't believe the book of Hebrews. They don't believe Adam's seed was in him, actually. And that in the sin of Adam, I'm not going to call it a fall, in the transgression of Adam against the word, the law, the commandment that God gave him, we sinned in him. Well, now, what do you mean by saying that they don't believe the book of Hebrews? Well, it's real simple. It's really, really simple, brethren. Hebrews tells us about the priesthood of Melchizedek, doesn't it? And how superior it is to the priesthood of Aaron under the law that we call the Mosaic law. And one of the ways that Paul, yes, I do believe Paul was the author to the book of Hebrews. One of the ways he tells us that is that Aaron paid tithes to Melchizedek. And people would say, well, now, how could that be? Melchizedek lived hundreds of years before Aaron was even thought about, much less born. And Scripture tells us plainly. Yes, the Scripture tells us plainly that he paid tithes to Melchizedek because he was in the loins of his father Abraham when Abraham paid tithes to Melchizedek. And you know what? You and I were there too. Maybe if we could trace back to old Abraham. I'm not saying we can or we can't. I'm just saying if we could, we'd be there as much as Aaron was, wouldn't we? Wouldn't we? Of course we would. Now, brother, and I messed up here in that I have got to get gas, or I'm not gonna make it. Well, I'll make it, but I'm gonna get gas here, and I'm gonna try to pause this. And if it won't pause, I'm gonna end it, and I'm gonna come back with a part two. But I want you to just pause with me right here. And we're talking about being in the loins of Abraham and actually being there and actually paying tithes to Melchizedek when Abraham, his father, did that.